Brown versus Board of Education, a court case which took place in 1954, started the integration of schools in the U.S. The Supreme Court had said, "We conclude that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place." It was ordered that integration with all deliberate speed was to be had. In 1957, some schools in the Deep South hadn't integrated. Arkansas Central High School is said to be the finest public school in the nation, but still hadn't been integrated. A federal judge ordered 3 African American boys and 6 African American girls to go to Arkansas Central High School. Many thought that the integration in Central High would have no problems, including the Little Rock Nine, the nickname given to the boys and girls who were ordered to go to Central High School. The people thought that Little Rock had good race relations. They were wrong. People started to fight integration using threats, rock throwing, and nasty words. These people protested in front of Central High. The governor of Little Rock, Orville Faubus, called in the National Guard. Many thought that this was to help integration. Again, they were wrong. Faubus meant to use the National Guard to keep the Little Rock Nine out of Central High. Only whites could vote, and Faubus thought that aiding integration would make him lose votes. Melba Patillo and Elizabeth Eckford, 2 girls in the Little Rock Nine, described their first day. Elizabeth had missed a message that the whole group was going together, so she went to school alone. The mobs threatened her, and she ran back. A New York Times reporter saw her and told her not to let them see her cry. She eventually just went home. Later in the day, in Melba's English class, a boy was so angry that she was there, he walked out asking people to come with him. No one did. The mobs protested outside the school for a few days. President Eisenhower didn't want to take sides. Eventually, he decided to send in federal troops, declaring that mob rule cannot be allowed to override the decision of our courts. The kids loved these troops. Melba described how with the troops, the Little Rock Nine didn't have to go through the school through the side. They went right up the front stairs, feeling a sense of pride. One of the boys in the Little Rock Nine, Ernest Green, said there were jeeps in front of them and behind. At the end of that year, Ernest was the first African American to graduate from Central High. He felt that his going to school there helped other African Americans' existence in Little Rock. Once she grew up, Melba wrote a book entitled Warriors Don't Cry about her experience. The name came from Danny, one of the troops, who told her that warriors survive. This advice was something that she remembered when people threatened and harassed her. In her book, Melba described a lot of the prejudice against her. How did this event affect civil rights? Well, it was the first time the president had advocated for African American rights since Reconstruction. The Chicago Defender said that the Supreme Court ruling would have been meaningless had these Negro boys and girls failed to follow the course mapped out for them by the law. They should be applauded by all of us. In 1987, 30 years later, the Little Rock Nine had a reunion. Only one of them had stayed in Little Rock, and that was Elizabeth Eckford.